Okay, so Black Dog, great song, real landmark in rock music and rock guitar playing. There's basically 4 sections that you need to learn to play this. Okay, so we'll go over all 4 of those. The guitar track is tripled on this song. There's 3 guitars playing throughout the whole thing. They're all kind of doing the same thing, but just little variations, and we'll go over all of that. And the biggest thing about this song, I think, is the timing. There's a lot of weird timing stuff in it, especially that first turnaround. That one there, and I'll explain that one. That one has had me baffled for a long time, and I think a lot of other people too. And doing some research on the song and reading some stuff by John Paul Jones, who kind of wrote this one, that was almost his intention, was to come up with something that was really hard for cover bands to be able to do. And then you've got a section where there's harmony, and I think there might even be 4 guitars in that part. So we'll go over all of that. In between the singing and when the band comes in, it has always been a bit perplexing, I think, for a lot of people. If you want to learn this, you probably already know this, but John Bonham, you can hear him tapping the sticks. You don't hear 1, 2, 3, you just hear the last tap. So if you really get your headphones and turn that up there, you can hear a little click of the sticks before the band comes in. So he's cueing them on when to come in. So they're not counting some mystical time signature there. He's just cueing them in. So they're following him. And later on in the song, I mean, he cues it every time, but it becomes more a normal sort of a pattern. And live, they just play it straight too, because it's just too hard messing around with coming in at weird times like that. So we're here, it's in A, and we're in that A minor pentatonic sort of a shape. So the lick starts here on a slide up to A7, and then chromatic up from D5 to D7, back to A7, and then we're here on G5, we put a little bend on that, and back to D7. And what I do is I like to finger that one with my middle finger on the way down. Because the next move is going to be up here. And I used to play this like this. I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference, but very short. Short there, right? But it isn't short, it's long. If you do it with that finger, your next move is up here, right? With your first finger. So that's kind of, you know, it takes a while to get that up there. And you can wind up shorting out that note. I finger it with my middle finger now. And you hold that until you hit that note. So it's a longer hold. Don't do this. You want to do this. Hopefully you can hear the difference there. You're winding up holding that note a little bit longer. And then we come up here. So it's just G7 to G9. Then a trill from G5 to G7 back down to D7. Some guys will do it here. Like instead of going there, they go here. And you can do that, but if you don't finger that cleanly, you wind up, you know, hitting that chord, right? And it sounds kind of messy there. So, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy Page comes up here to do the lick. So, so we're just here on D5 to D7. Then A5 to A7, and then A3 to A5. But we slur that, kind of slide it down so it goes. And as you slide that one down, you're going to upstroke on the G string on that A power chord. And then 2 downstrokes on the A power chord. And then that's doubled. And then there's another guitar that does the exact same thing, but it just ends it different. It ends it like this. Slide down to the open A. 2 hits on the open A, and then a power chord. So that's pretty subtle, right? But if you're, in a 2-guitar band, you maybe want to get one guy to do that, and the two together combine nicely. So then we're going to go into this turnaround lick. And this, I think, is probably the hardest part of the song for anybody who's ever played it, because it gets syncopated and it gets real weird. Just before I move on, when we end that, and that first couple of times, it's just a straight A chord. Later on, it changes where one guitar does this. He bends up that G3 to the A note here. It's weird holding that chord and bending, but that comes in later. But the first time it's just a straight A chord. Now onto the syncopated turnaround. So what we're going to do there, we're just going to play the same lick, just down a string. So instead of go down a string, and that just repeats a bunch of times. And then it ends on this. And then we're back into this. So that's pretty straightforward. Easy to just talk you through that, but the timing there is absolute killer. And it's been screwing me up for, I guess you could say, decades now. But I finally sort of really looked at it and read about it a bit. There's a little bit I'll put in the description box that I found on some interview with John Paul Jones, and he explains how that lick works. And I remember when I used to talk about that with my buddies and stuff, we used to think that, they made a mistake and they just were all catching up. But, there's no way. This was planned right from the start. And apparently, from what I read, when he first brought this song to the band, it was so complex, because he was looking for a different sort of a time signature. Apparently it was in 3/16. I don't even know what that is, but so complex nobody could do it. So they had to change it and simplify it quite a bit. But this part here is still the trick of playing this song, and probably a huge reason why most bands never play this song, other than having a singer that can sing like Robert Plant, right? But this is a really tough part to nail. What I do with that is, it's an 8-note riff that starts on the offbeat. So that's 8 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what happens is there's an 8th note rest before it starts again. So the 9th note is a rest. You just count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. The first lick is on the offbeat, and because you have that 8th note rest in there, the lick now will start on the downbeat. So it starts on the upbeat, the offbeat, the first time, downbeat the second time, and you do your 8, and you have the 9th as a rest, which will make the lick again start on the offbeat. So it starts on offbeat, onbeat, offbeat. Does 3 times like that. And then the last lick is just 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're back into that. That whole lick then, we'll do it real slow and just talk through it, is 3 groups of 8 with 9 being a rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Then you're into the main lick. So if you think of it that way, you're just dropping an 8th note. There's an 8th note rest every 8 beats. I'm starting my counting on the lick, which is an offbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That really helped me sort of sort it out in my mind as to what's going on, but still, even though I know that now, it's still hard to get. It's the kind of a lick where you're just going to have to sit down with the track and just kind of get a feel for that, dropping that eighth note, and that, which is a very bizarre thing to do. I've been playing guitar quite a while, and I don't know, I've never run into anything like that. That's going to finish up going back to the A lick. And then we get into that oh yeah part, right, which is so it's pretty straightforward there. You're just kind of holding this A chord, and there's 3 guitars doing all this stuff. So the first guitar is just here, and then here. And I'm not going to yell every fret here because it's it doesn't move around. It's all right down here between basically the 2nd and 4th fret. And that chord there, he keeps the A in the bass note. The actual bass moves to a C, but the guitar is like playing an A. It's like an A minor 7. And that does that a bunch of times, and then it eventually ends off where one of the guitars pulls that E string up to the A, and the other guitar just ends it normally. And the other guitar, it's going. So it's a little bit different because it's holding that A note. You can clearly hear that. So one guitar is, and the other guitar is just. So that's how that part works. And the third guitar is, it's just basically doubling that first one, right? It's just kind of there just to fill out the sound. So that's that part. And then we've got the Hey Baby thing. The guitars are all doing the same thing except for the chords at the end. So it's always, it's just A to G, right? And then this, the very first time when it goes up to the C, it's kind of like, it's a little bend in there. I do it with my little finger, but you can do it with your third finger. So just the first time. And then one of the guitars just does like G, D. And the way I do it, I don't know if it's right or not, but I just do that AC/DC G, right? Where you're just muting that A string. And then D. And just repeats. And then the second guitar is doing this chord here. Those kind of chords, when you put that third in there, they always sound a little bit sour down in this range of the guitar because of the intonation on guitars. It's not great down in there, but that's what he's playing. So what you can do to smooth that out is just maybe leave out that B string and just go, because you can clearly hear that in the recording, that B to A note. So a little trick is if you just do the 2 notes, put a little vibrato on it to kind of just smooth out that intonation thing when you play thirds. Playing thirds with distorted guitar is never great, you know. And I don't know if you know, but Eddie Van Halen used to, you know, when he was playing all that all that kind of stuff, he would flat his B string. just to sort of fix up that intonation problem with the guitars and playing thirds. You just would do this. Just to smooth it out a bit. So that's what the other guitar does. And then the third guitar actually just plays single notes. So it just goes... just emphasizing that G down to the F sharp. And you put the vibrato on it. And it ends the phrase with, just goes straight down to the E. And that's about it, except for the end lick where we do the harmony. And what happens is the main guitar, it kind of changes a bit. It puts a little pull-off in. So instead of going like this, it goes like this. Little pull-off there. So now the harmony goes up a third, and it doesn't follow the main guitar completely. It doesn't go. Doesn't do that. It just goes straight, and it doesn't do the chromatic thing. You know, you'd think it would go, but it doesn't. It goes 2 notes on that C sharp, back down to the A. And then we're here on B4, and we bend that, and again I want to finger this one now with my middle finger, because my next move is up here, just B7, B8, a little trill between B5, B7, down to G6. Another bend here in B4. So far we've got and then we finish the phrase off doing this. B4 to B6, D5 to D7, D2 to D4, down to the A power chord. And slowly. Okay, and that's it. That's the song. And I guess there's that little thing at the beginning. I think he's just like sawing on his E string there. You know, with some delay. We'll put the delay on here. See what happens. Like, I don't even know what he was doing. I think that's what he was doing. Okay. So, I mean, if you're in a band and you want to do before the song starts, it might be kind of cool, right? So that's it. I hope you get something out of this. There's a lot of little deals in here, but mostly it's that syncopated part. That'll be the thing that screws up most guys. And just remember, it's just groups of 8 with that 9th beat being a rest, an 8th note rest. So 3 groups of 8 with the 9th beat being the rest, and then 1 group of 5. Very tricky to get that together. Anyways, good luck with it, and like I said, I hope you get something out of the lesson, and we'll talk to you soon.